All right, let's talk a little more about the Roe v. Wade issue. Kelli Owens is the executive director of the New York State Office for Prevention of Domestic Violence, and she has worked over the years for Planned Parenthood and others, and really interested in getting her reaction on the decision from the Supreme Court on Friday. Kelli also has worked in local government here in Oneida County. And Kelli, we've worked on a couple of campaigns over the years. So
we have.
Yeah, it's like we've been through war.
It certainly feels that way some days.
And we have lived to tell about it. Crazy. All right. What are your thoughts?
Well, I can tell you that I have had not a great night's sleep since Friday. Not that I've had one in 20 years, but it's just, I think it's not as though we didn't expect it to happen, Bill, but it's still devastating to think that the decision that came down on Friday has rolled back rights that women have had for a very long time. I want to make it clear to everybody that New York still has safe legal abortion, and to get information about that, the governor has, she's a champion on this issue, and she has put up a website about the truth and where you can get abortion access called Abortion Access Always. So I just want, although we're all kind of in this state of a fog, I think it's important that we make sure that people understand that abortion is still safe and legal here in New York.
So, explain the right to care, to health care, to a women's health care, because I'm not sure that every guy understands this and the importance of the decision on Friday.
Yeah. So, I think that what folks need to understand is that, a woman's right to decide what she does with her own body and when she becomes a mother and not a mother should be between her family, and her health care provider. Friday's decision allows states to limit that. And in other states, right, it's even gone beyond what Roe said, which was abortion is legal. What it says is now laws will stand in states that make every pregnant woman, and I know this sounds like I'm overreacting, but, I'm not, that every pregnant woman who loses a pregnancy or is no longer pregnant can become a subject of a criminal investigation. Not only her, but her family and her doctor. So it's pretty chilling. It's actually even farther than a rollback on Roe.
And you didn't use prosecution; you used investigation, and I think that
they can be prosecuted.
They could be, but but the mere investigation on its own, I guess, would be problematic, which could happen in some states. So if someone were to lose a child, God forbid, because of a miscarriage. What you're saying is there could be an investigation into whether or not that really was a miscarriage.
Correct. And what this also does is it no longer has rape and incest as a reason someone could get an abortion, which is also frightening. I mean, let's think about that for a second. In states where abortion is just plain out illegal, a 12-year-old girl who has been a victim of a rape is going to be forced to carry that pregnancy. Her body may not be able to handle that pregnancy. And, women are going to die. Girls are going to die. And their future reproductive future is on the line as well. I think that people think this is really just such a simple issue. You either are for or against abortion, and it's just not that simple. It's just not that simple.
Do you feel there will be an increase? And I think in the 60s and prior, we saw a lot of very dangerous procedures that were done, whether they were done in offices, back alleys, or people performing their own abortions, and that has gone on really for years and years. But
forever, Bill. Forever.
Forever. But I wonder if today we're going to the problem we're going to see down the road is an increase in what would we call it? It'd be potentially dangerous morning after pills that could be knockoffs and could be tainted, could be sold on the streets. It's opening up a whole new market, I think, for that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, and I hope that we don't get to that. But I think it is a fear. There are so many more options today for women facing a potential pregnancy, and a lot of education out there. So, hopefully, the reproductive health organizations will be doing a lot of education to make sure that people understand there are other options, and there are ways for self-care that can be very safe for you if you do it in the way that it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is women shouldn't be put in that position, right? Women should be able to get the advice they need, get the care they need, and not be put in a position to put their own health at risk.
I'd like to ask you, because you do have a political history as well.
Yep.
As I said, we've worked on campaigns. You worked in Oneida County government, and I wonder how much this decision, because as it stands right now, the economy is a real problem. And as somebody just sent to me this morning, and she's correct, James Carville said it's the economy, stupid. That is the kitchen table issue for the upcoming election. And I would agree with that. However, we've not seen an issue like this in 50 years. Do you feel that this issue has the ability to change the current, really, when it comes to history midterms, it is all about the economy. And the party that is not in power usually has the advantage, and certainly with $5 a gallon gasoline and meat that costs so much and heating fuel and all of these inflationary issues that we're dealing with, is this the big issue that is going to take hold for the upcoming midterms?
I believe it is. I believe it is going to have an impact. I do believe the economy is going to have an impact, but I believe for people who believe in rights, not only this decision, but some of the other decisions that have been coming down are motivating people who believe that people have choices and people have rights. And I think that that's going to motivate people. And, I think one of the things that's really important is that this is about an individual's beliefs and their journey to become a mother or not become a mother. And to have the government decide that unilaterally without the input of healthcare providers. I mean, the National Academy of OBGYNs have come out with a statement about this and have worked this issue in partnership with Planned Parenthood in New York for decades. I mean, this is just, we're not only rolling back, we're going way, way back.
Yeah. I will say that you and I have had conversations working on the same campaign, and I was going to say that this is one of those issues that for Republican women, especially moderate Republican women, this could become a rather difficult issue. This could become a deciding issue.
I don't know if it is, Bill. I think we think it is, but we know that 75% of New Yorkers believe that Roe needed to be codified in New York, and that they don't like this decision. So, yeah. I think we like to think about it as a very divisive issue because the other side has done a really good job making it that.
Yeah.
But, it's really not.
Christine?
Do you think, Kelli, that this is going to pave the way for future restrictive legislation just based in your gut? Or do you think that just the opposite is going to happen?
Oh, I think there are going to be attempts on both sides to make sure that their opinions are seen in the legislatures. I think in states where they know that they can get a foothold, the other side can get a foothold. The anti-abortion folks will get a foothold. I mean, they've done a really great job, right? They've done a really great job over the past 20 years making sure that they set up the courts the way they needed to. They are so incredibly motivated and go to any extreme to make sure that they're putting the right folks in the right place. And on our side, we all took it for granted, right, that Roe was safe. Roe's settled law. I lobbied for 7 years trying to get the Reproductive Health Act passed here in New York, and I heard from Republican after Republican in the state Senate, Roe settled. We don't need to do this. I'm with you, but, Roe is settled. We don't need to do this. And I wanted to call all of them on Friday, but I didn't. So I think I'm hoping that this will be a motivating factor in which we actually do take the steps we need in Congress to make sure that this right is protected.
Yeah. Kelli Owens, we appreciate the time. Thank you for, I know it's a tough issue. I do remember, I was one of those people that said to you, there is no way Roe v. Wade will be overturned. It's never going to happen. And
you did. I'm not going to tell you were wrong, but
Yeah. Oh no, you already did. All right, Kelli. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Okay.